What's up guys, this guy 4 here with my video review on the Transformers animated oil slick figure. He is a Decepticon, and he is a motorcycle with a ram head or some type of, ram head, which looks pretty hardcore, I guess. But behind the hardcoreness of the figure, you'll see that he has some wimpy plastic right there on the horns and the handlebars, which would have been better if they're just hard plastic. But once again, it's for safety issues, so we'll just ignore it. We'll set the figure to the side and take a look at the box real quick. So you have Oil Slick's box with him and his giant chain weapon, which looks nothing like his weapon on the toy. It's a lot longer and it's metal instead of plastic. So there you have the front of the box, his name, his Decepticon symbol, the character shot, Transformers animated, the sticker for the DVD, his side picture where he has a gigantic nose. When I see him, every time I see him, I think of Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know why, but there's something about him. Then you have the back, his vehicle mode, which is a motorcycle, obviously. Then you have his robot mode, the featured figures, his name, and he's an anarchist road warrior. His quote, which is, "Fear is my ally," and his galactic powers and abilities, which are, he's a talented chemist and mechanic, he trained in circuitry with Prowl, and he's immune to chemical attacks. So this guy is a ninja, and a motorcycle. And there you have the Decepticon symbol. And we'll get on to the figure. So here you have Oil Slick in his hardcore motorcycle mode. And let me just get his kind of canister things or barrels. So you can kind of store those if you lift up these flaps, featured on the back sides of the motorcycle, and you plug in these barrels through pegs and holes. Do the same on this side. And there you have Oil Slick with his barrels. So I'll just get on with the rest of the review. I'll just show you a real quick size comparison to Ultra Magnus again. And the reason I'm showing him next to Ultra Magnus is because they're kind of similar in length. Oil Slick is just a bit longer, like just a hair, like a really short buzz cut hair. But yeah, his color scheme is primarily green, a really cool kind of green. Green is my favorite color, so this guy gets bonus points. You see a darker green featured here on the front of the vehicle, on the back of the vehicle right here, just below the seat, on these pieces that hold the barrels, and that's basically it. Also on the handlebars, kind of right here, in the bottom section of it, and inside there. You'll see some type of light metallic green featured inside of the dark green on the front of the vehicle, inside of the green on the dark green in the back of the vehicle, and on these kind of exhaust pipes right here. And that's pretty much it. You'll see a type of other pukish green featured right here, where I'm guessing the gasoline goes, I'm pretty sure. On the sides right there, right there, on these kind of square panels right there, and in the goat's eyes. And I guess I'll just show you a real quick close-up of that goat head, which looks pretty cool. It looks pretty mad, which is pretty unique on a figure. Then you'll see some white featured on the outside of the barrel, and on the back of it, and on the horns and the handlebars. And lastly, you'll see some black on the goat, or the ram head, on the tires, on these little circles right here on the barrels, and on the tips of the handlebars, the seats, and the back tires too, and on this pattern on the side of the motorcycle and right here. That's it for his color scheme, so I'll just get on with the review once again. My overall rating of this mode is it's a definite 7 to 8.5 for me. I can't really be precise about it because I kind of have mixed emotions about it, or mixed feelings. It's pretty cool. It has the ram head once again. and it just looks really cool. It's a good color scheme, except for that pukish green. I like the dark green, except for that. Then you have some spikes right here, which is pretty cool. And yeah. So once again, a 7 to 8.5 out of 10. I really like this mode. It's pretty cool. And yeah, so I'll just get on to the transformation. The first thing that you want to do is go ahead and remove these barrels and set those to the side, which will become his weapons later. The next thing that you want to do is fold down those flaps like so. Kind of lift up the seat right here so that it gets out of this groove that holds its pegs. Then you go to the back of the vehicle, separate the legs, and kind of straighten those out. If I can. Yeah. You kind of just fold those out. Next thing that I want to do is kind of fold out his feet just by lifting those like so. Then you'll flip up his toes like that. And then it'll straighten out his feet like so. And there's this ball joint falling off. So you just get the figure standing. And if it looks like I'm having problems with this figure, it's mainly because he's a really lanky figure and he's pretty weak ball joints, I guess. So you'll separate the front section of the motorcycle like that. Fold out the arm like so. And if you see this, how this joint is folding, it'll fold like that. And it'll peg in to the other side of the joint. And that will snap into place like it's supposed to. Whatever. Then you'll grab the handlebar here and flip that down like so. Then you'll fold out his hands just by grabbing the fingers inside, folding it out, and folding out his thumb. For some reason that peg's not pegging in. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. The next thing you want to do is the same on the other side, but this side's a little bit more tricky because it has the goat head. So go ahead and grab the goat head and fold that backwards like so until it folds onto the side of his arm. And you'll grab the handlebar and flip that down. Fold out his fingers and his thumb. And then do that joint trick right there. There you have most of the figure completed. Next thing you want to do is go to the back of the figure, lift down this panel, and flip out his head. And there you have Oil Slick in his robot form. So, as I said earlier, he's kind of a ninja. He trained with Jazz and Prowl, or with Prowl. But I'm guessing he might have been associated with Jazz because Jazz knows Circuitsu too. So, I'll just kind of read his character description real quick because I don't know anything else about the character. Vehicle-to-vehicle combat is something all Transformers are skilled in. But with Oil Slick, it's a particular specialty. He knows more about how to disable and destroy a vehicle than almost anyone else in the galaxy. He knows that if he can break down the robot inside, the vehicle will come screeching to a halt. Canisters attached to his sides dump special chemicals that unlock the deepest fears of any robot exposed to them, while at the same time rotting wheels and burning through axles. Once the vehicle mode is destroyed, Oil Slick moves in close to finish off with his chain weapon. That wasn't really a character description, kind of described how he fights. But yeah, I did read some things about this guy on the Transformers Wikipedia page. Apparently, they designed this toy and the creators of the animated show got kind of upset because they could have worked this guy in if they had told the animated producers or something that this was going to be a toy and that they wanted this guy in the show. So this could have been a possible character, but they didn't have any time to work him in. So I'll just show you his weapons. So here are his weapons. One of them is an empty barrel, while the other one holds his chemicals. I'll just find the barrel that I dropped. So okay, so this is the one with the chain. You kind of just extend that, and you have a chain that pops out. And this peg will plug into either hand. I don't really display them like that, but You have this kind of chain, which in the picture on the back of the box, it's actually made of metal, which would have been a lot better than this plastic, but it's still pretty cool. Get the figure, or get the box fixed. Oh, there. Then this one, people think that it's just supposed to be empty, and that it's kind of like a gun that you plug into his hand with by opening this flap. But I actually read that you can actually store water in here. As you can see, I don't know if there you see that. Got water all over my table. But this can actually hold water. I've been storing it for about 3 weeks, and I read that it's supposed to do that on a Transformers website. I think it's the Wikipedia page, and it actually holds it really, really well. It doesn't leak or anything. So yeah, I think that's like the first review to show the water too. And that's supposed to represent his chemicals, his special chemicals, that like it says on the back of the box. So his articulation is his arms can rotate 360 degrees if you kind of maneuver it in a certain way. Or no, they can't. They can only fold that far back and that far like that. His arms can bend at the elbow, oddly back, and they can bend forward, and then they cannot rotate. His fingers can kind of move in and out, so can his thumb. His head can rotate 360 degrees. It can look down, not really up. His legs can move in and out from the body. They can move forward and back, and they can bend at the knee, and they can kind of fold out like that, about that far, until it pops off the ball joint. But yeah. So I don't really have any problems with the figure, except it's kind of lanky and really thin, so it just kind of have difficulties when you try to pose him or play with him. I'll just show you a real quick size comparison to the two other ninjas from the anime line, Jazz and Prowl. L6 obviously taller than Prowl, as you can see there, and he is taller than Jazz, as you can see there. So that's pretty much it for the review. My overall rating of this figure, or this mode, is it's a 6 out of 10 for me, so this is a 6.5 figure. It may not be the most appealing figure that you see on the pegs, but he is actually a lot of fun to play with and transform, and he makes for a pretty good display piece. So it's up to you if you want to buy this guy or not. I would definitely recommend trying to pick him up if you can. He's pretty cool, and I kind of hope that they work him into the show somehow. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the comics or something like that, so hopefully he becomes more involved with the anime line. But yeah, so once again, a 6.5 figure for me. He's pretty much worth picking him up. He's pretty cool, so definitely go get this guy, and thanks for watching.